So first of all, I just have to say, it's been a really extraordinary journey when I wrote my very first novel, which was 3 years ago, called Can You See Us Now? And the response was great, and then we followed it up. Ronnie and I wrote a book called Martini Wisdom, and ended up on Amazon's top new releases and stayed there for 3 months. And after that, this amazing thing happened. I kept having, still on? Okay. I kept having so many people saying, I have a book or I have a story, and how did you do this? So I started to think about, maybe this could be something more. Maybe there is a way to help other people become authors. Over on that side of the table, we've published 20 books now through the 3 Tomatoes Book Publishing. So it's been this really extraordinary experience. And so I never thought this would turn into publishing books. I also never thought I would write a sequel to this story, because when I finished Can You See Us Now, which told the story of Susie, Trish, and Madge as they're starting to turn 50, things are going great in their lives, and then suddenly they're not, and they're starting to feel irrelevant and marginalized because they're women over 50. And a lot of things happen to them. They start a company, interestingly, called the 3 Tomatoes, to help women over 50 not feel that way anymore. And their adventures evolve throughout the book. But at the heart of that story, it's a really New York City women-centric story, and it's how powerful the friendships of our women are. And that story was inspired by every single one of you in this room. Some of you people say, who is this one? They're trying to guess the characters. Honestly, they're each and every single one of you, because you all inspire me every day. You're the most just extraordinary group of women that anybody could ever know, and I'm just so blessed to be friends with all of you. So I didn't see a sequel, but it's the weirdest thing. When you start to write a novel and you invent characters, they start to talk to you. And they started to talk to me several months ago, and I'm like, there's more to this story. There's more to be told about what's happening in their lives. So Can You Hear Us Now takes place 5 years later. Susie's husband of 30 years has died, and we'll get that in the opening. Madge, who in the first book, and by the way, you can read the second book without having read the first book, because it's its own story, and it kind of goes back and forth with the, kind of catching you up on the backstory. But Madge had been a very successful news broadcaster. She got, canned basically for a much younger newscaster, but she ended up marrying a billionaire who's 12 years her junior.
Hello.
They adopted 2 children from Ethiopia, so her life is really great. And in this story, her husband decides, their life is going great, but he decides to run for the Senate, and it really threatens their whole life. And then the third theme is with Trish, the other main character. And in the first book, she owned an art gallery, and her husband's hedge fund went under. He cheated on her with a psychopath who almost killed both of them. But they ended up back together. But in this story, she's feeling the call of the art world again. Meanwhile,